live anymore. We are live. Hey fam, this is Josiah again on Each One Teach One. Finally, we brought the gentleman, the CEO of Citural. He's here with us, Dennis. So, Dennis, since you're here with
Yeah.
us, we thought you weren't going to show up or whatever, but we really appreciate the fact that you showed up, okay? So, we are in Rising Glory. So, Dennis, talk to us, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and the background that you bring to the table, and all the good stuff you've been doing.
Oh, okay. Hi guys. We live. Sorry for the delay. I had a little bit uh, difficulties at the office and some other challenges that I have, but good enough. I think I've solved it. The main thing here is I'm here now. My name is Dennis. I'm a research expert and also a product analyst. And by the grace of God, I'm also a venture builder. Co-founded three different startups currently. Basically, the one we are talking about and the one I'm very much passionate about is Citural. Citural is a research-based firm in Nigeria here. We have our headquarters in Chicago, Illinois, USA. We have our analyst base all around the emerging markets. We operate from Sri Lanka, Colombo to be precise, and Lagos here as well, Lagos, Nigeria, where I am presently. So Citural is an idea that came up between my conversation and a VC guy I'm working with in the US. We deemed it fit that data is now available. Data, some on some activities in Nigeria, data is now available to some large extent on so many things. There are so many. How am I going to say? There's so many
This is getting
giving.
interesting.
Yeah, there are so many giving data that imported data, I might say, imported informations that we share among ourselves here. So we believe that we can really redo the way these things is done, reshape the way we think around about our technology, about our market forecasting, about our private markets and public markets. So that drives us to the fact of getting to start Citural. We're all about research, telling the truth, and we started a newsletter recently, which I'm personally manning, called Citural Weekly. On the newsletter, we try to talk tough, no BS involved. Try to talk about Nigerian companies, African startups, tech startups, what they do, a deep dive analysis of what they do, how they do it, and how it affects the continent. So we try to see things that people are not seeing, say things that people are not saying, and narrate it the way the people wants to hear it. Thank you.
All right, that's awesome. So he gave us a big old synopsis of what they do, what they're all about, which is very interesting with the topic, the place of history in technology, or the place of technology in history itself. You can, any way you want to put it. So now you guys have seen the man. So if anybody has anything they want to chime in or talk about, then you are free to do so. I'm gonna post down the link right here on YouTube, so you can get a chance to. I'm gonna put it on the chat so you can, be able to call in if you had to say something or chime in. Anyway, I'm gonna move on with this interview that we're about to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you've already broken down what you guys do. So, what do you think about the tech industries and how they keep the history of the things that are going on in a chronological order? What are the things happening on the ground where you are? I know you talked about some of the differences and the need, the fact that you guys import data from abroad or whatever to do certain things, which I think doesn't make a lot of sense. However, I need you to tell us, the lay people, how you guys been able to incorporate the genesis of the company in tech as far as history is concerned. Please tell us.
Okay, basically, I would like to correct something. We don't really import this out from anywhere. We try to say that we Africa right back here. You won't check something about startups or thereabout. You go check Crunchbase or something like that, or from TechCrunch, Michael Harrison built Crunchbase. We're trying to say that most of the data we use here right here are imported data, like something that is given. It's not something
So
that
so
comes
so
from.
something that is imported would have been foreign, right? External.
Yeah, yeah. So why we started Citural is We don't want to say these guys have to write our story. We have to do it ourselves. They research everything. That's why we started Citural. So basically, the place of, you talked about the place of how far it has been in this ecosystem in terms of Africa, how uh, how the role history is right playing in the ecosystem currently, on how problems are being solved. Basically, technology is still an emerging trend in Africa. The Western world is far ahead of us. We are trying to catch up, but I believe Africa always catches up in their own way. Take, for example, the mobile boom, for example, in the West. The West experienced telephone connections. They had a strong telephone infrastructure before the mobile came in. But when the mobile came to Africa, there was no solid telephone infrastructure. There was never. But Africa leapfrog from that straight to mobile. Get
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it talks a lot about Africa. It means a lot about the people,
Yeah, it
what
speaks
we
it
are.
speaks volume. It speaks volume. So
Yeah.
there's a possibility of a particular group of people in a
Yeah.
market to leapfrog instead of going through the normal process, which maybe a succeeding group has done that. Like for instance, like what you just said, you talked about the infrastructure, telephone infrastructure, and the PSTN infrastructure that was built out in the West. They had it. Every home had one. Every home had a telephone, okay, dial-up, whatever you call it. We had that. But in the African situation, it wasn't that case. It was just the government that had it, to some rich families that had it. But when the mobile devices popped up, everybody had it in Africa. So it was putting Africa on the map. So that's a very strong point. That's what you call innovation,
Yeah.
leapfrogging, just phasing out the whole generation of technology and going to the next one. That's innovation right there. And the number of mobile users in Africa has gone so high. You see that they
Yeah.
use the term that mobile penetration in Africa is high and very it's still growing. You know, it's still growing. That's
So
a very large market. Anyway, that's very important. The point that you made out there. But what I didn't quite get was, so the information that you guys are using, let me digest this. Is handed over to you by foreign individuals, or are you trying to say that the people that you guys work with probably we are assuming that they might be of the same group as you are, and then they give you this information which you put into processes, and now with that processes you could possibly serve what your company does by gathering the needed information, seeing what we cannot see, and telling us the story the way it's supposed to be told, as opposed to CNN or Fox telling the story, or TechCrunch, like you said, and all the rest of them telling the story. So I really want to understand this. So the information you're talking about that's handed down to you, it's not from any foreign entity, or it wasn't manufactured for you. What is it? What is that information that you're getting?
Basically, we work with, if you check our website, we worked with some VC firms
What's
in
your website?
Nigeria,
People want to check it out.
citural.com.ng.
Okay, Citural.
.com.ng. I
.mg.
like the
Okay.
I like having NGs on my old
Yeah,
.com
it's
domain.
Nigeria, so you're documenting it. You're writing a story right there. It's history. You want to say
Yeah,
it's a Nigerian company. That's what we're talking about here.
yeah. So we work with data available, and we try to refine those data that are available. You know, as I said before, the role of history and technology is very much underestimated currently right now. And what we try to do at Citural basically is, we are a research firm. We work with data, we work with information. When they are now available, we fetch them ourselves. That's why we are research experts. We go to the field, we have our research strategies. We used to get information. We lay our hands on these informations, and we translate it the way it's supposed to be translated. Like, take for an example right now, where I work with some startups last 2 weeks. They needed to do a market analysis of their market. they are an energy firm. So I have to do my research over time, how it's been, the people, the customer. That gave a lot of sense. We came up with something. What I'm trying to say since is most data that is available is what is predicted by foreigners. So as Citural, we are trying to predict the data ourselves, give those informations ourselves, not using what they import, producing them ourselves. So what we do
Oh
as Citural
yeah,
is
now
we
we got
help
it. Now we
businesses,
got it.
we help, yeah, we help guys do these things the way it's supposed to be done, the African way, running away from the single story that we have right here in an African history, because we have a single story perspective, and that has informed so many business models, so many companies are big companies, small companies in Africa, most people building solutions, most upcoming solutions. Not really, you want to look at it from an angle of like how what are you doing and how is this in solving a problem? Like how where does this meet culture? Where does it meet the needs of the people directly?
Absolutely.
Because you want you want to design a bit. Take it for example, right now in Africa, people don't like organized e-commerce website.
Mm.
Generally, on a higher basic sense, people go online, buy things, Jumia, and all the rest of them. But the core African man wants to meet the person he's buying something from. That's culture. You can't take it away from an African. The African man is more people. I told you yesterday, they are more people oriented than invisible humans are not seeing.
Hmm.
Directly or indirectly, trust, financial if and their financial infrastructure have not been that built for people to really say, okay, I trust this guy. Like so many things are yet to be built. And for we to really get these things done, we need to know who we are, one. We
Hmm.
need to know the problem we have, two. We need to know what to build. And we need to know what we are building is it affordable for the people we are building it for. So
Wow.
we're not just going to look outside there in Scotland and see a startup doing Clubhouse or something that makes Scottish people smile every day, and we just say, "Oh, this can work here in Nigeria. We just import it. It can work in Kenya." No, USSD is only working in Africa very well. Mobile money is only working in Africa very well. A startup in San Francisco, Silicon Valley, can't carry USSD technology to Silicon Valley and go and do it. It doesn't
No,
work.
it
That
doesn't
means
work.
culture, technology, history, all comes together when building solutions. I'm not talking about building companies. I'm talking about building solutions, because at the end of the
Solutions.
day, what is a company is a solution. Startup technology is all about solutions,
Solution.
and technology is not built. One mistake people make is they build technology on top of a problem they are trying to solve. They carry technology and put on top of the problem they're trying to solve. For example, you want to build a simple e-commerce website for your business. You want to do AI powered, you want to do blockchain. It's just a simple website. People that want to sign up have to have wallets, coins. No. What the technology is supposed to be under, because technology is accelerating what you are doing. What you are doing is not accelerating technology.
Technology.
Technology is accelerating what you are doing. That's one mistake we have with most startup founders in Nigeria, and that's why many fail. And that's why many fail to scale, because the business model is not even directed to solving the like people think the market is too small. No, the market is not small. A normal African man, to my understanding, doesn't want to be disturbed by what you are building. He doesn't want you to disrupt the way he thinks. An African man is very comfortable dialing a USSD than going through the processes of installing a mobile app on his phone, trying to do so many things, many things. Look at this app right now we are using, Steam. I just go to my browser. I'm very comfortable about it. So there are trends that informs people, and I think things that are being built should be built in solving problems the way problems are. You don't want to copy and paste the problem and solve it the way the problems you think. Always call data, always call statistics. That is the very right way to solve data, to
So
solve
so
problems.
Citural is taking care of all of that and giving us Citural is the seeing eye as a research company, is the seeing eye that sees what other people don't see, especially if the people that wants to invest in Africa. Citural could be able to give them the X-ray overview of the market in Nigeria, just like what you just explained here. So in
Yeah,
that
in
case,
Nigeria,
you also
Africa,
have
everywhere.
in other African countries too.
Yeah, we are
Kenya.
global. We are
Oh, you
definitely
guys are
global.
global. Okay, awesome, awesome. So basically, what you're saying is you have the ability. Say, if I want to go to Uganda and run a business, I want to run an agriculture business. Maybe I want to do poultry. So you can give me the information that I need about the market there to going into the
Definitely.
market there. Definitely. Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. It's good to hear. So I hope the viewers and those who are listening there are paying attention to what you are saying. So not only you investigate on tech companies, you also interact with the tech companies to know what their problems are. Just like you have told us that what some of their problem is the fact that they import solutions to local problems, and this could be a problem. And again, they build technology on top of the solutions instead of having this technology underneath to accelerate it. And that's a part of the history, telling the right story, right? Going in a chronological order to tell the story and change the single story and have an African narrative from the bottom to the top. Okay, so just like African leadership is from the bottom to the top, so every anchor, every link is always engaged. So I like the fact
Makes
that
sense.
you brought that up. I like the fact that you brought it up. So there's another question I would like to ask you here. So what kind of companies do you guys deal with? I know you guys do research. Is it any? Are you guys siloed, or do you have a range of the companies that you guys work with, the kind of businesses you guys do and work with? I mean,
Okay. Basically, right here, me personally, I have startups I'm involved in. Personally, I'm the CEO myself. So,
okay, what's the name of
uh,
that startup? Is it out already? Is it in stealth mode or is it practically out? Is it in
yeah, it's
stealth
out.
mode? Oh, it's
It's
out.
out.
Okay.
Uh, almost two of them is out already. So
Okay. Do they have a
we
website or something that people want to look at?
yeah, definitely.
Okay. What are those? If you
I have
can
to
paste
spell
them.
it for you. The names are kind of
It's
somehow.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah. One screen. Let me just test it to you.
Okay, you can do that. You can. I wonder if I can paste it, but if you can put it on the comment section, then everybody will see it. If you have the comment section, everybody will see it right there. So the essence of
Okay.
having some of these interviews is for people to learn something from it and be able to investigate the information that they get at, and also to see how they can be a part of what is going on. So history and technology, technology and history is a part of business model. Being able to tell the story from the bottom to the top and following the process all through, making sure that technology is working for us, it's accelerating what we are doing instead of us. We cannot accelerate the technology, bottom line. So what you were saying, so go ahead and tell us more about that. Do you have some startups that you are engaged yourself and you are using the same system that you guys have in Citural to be able to do diligence with them, hopefully do the market research for those businesses. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those that you've done and how they turned out,
Okay. Basically,
if it's possible?
yeah. Basically, because working at Citural and founding the company has really helped me to a very large extent to equip me with informations, ideas, this and so many things to be able to do multiple things at the same time because I make sure I take data-driven decisions. At one switch, we're trying to, I want to talk about local problems, solving it the way it's supposed to be solved. I'm serious about it. So at one switch, because when I came back to Nigeria, one of my days in here, so we tried using a POS, it failed. And statistically, let me not be sarcastic about it. 5 out of 10 of every electronic transactions in Nigeria fail. And you might ask the reason why.
50% success rate. That's a failure.
Yeah. Yeah. So and
That's a failing rate.
basically, it's improving according to the statistics on the website of the Interbank Transfer Agency in Nigeria here. But why should it be failing at all at a very average or minimal rate. It should be, if it's failing, let it be 1.5 out of 10. So it crippled businesses. So I started thinking, like, well, how can we do to solve problems like this? So we started One Switch. Just like the way M-Pesa works in Kenya, allow people to move money around. USSD, POS, they are all intertwined. They are all financial services.
Oh,
But
yeah?
for me, I think POS has solved a lot of problems, agent banking and stuff. But in the payment industry in Africa, there's a large part of the sector that is very much not not very much not very much talked about. The retail sector in Africa, solutions are being built, but payment solutions have not really been built for these guys, customs to help them manage their transaction. That's why we are doing One Switch. It's a USSD enabled
So
POS.
one switch is USSD. For those of you out there who doesn't know what USSD is, USSD is more like I don't know if I have to say first generation or second generation phone. One of those protocols on the phone that allows you to send a message from point A to point B. So I don't know if you've used one of those old Fido phones. It's like um, flip. I don't know if anybody remember the flip phone back in the 80s or so. Something. I mean, not 80s, 90s, early 90s. Those flip phones, 91, 92, 93, 94. Those kind of screens. So there's something on there called USSD. So USSD is sort of like a universal service, some kind of stuff. So you can check it on Google for yourself.
Universal supplementary structured
Data,
device, something like that. Yeah.
data
Yeah, data,
devices,
something.
data device,
Yeah.
unstructured. It's quite unstructured, right? So now,
Yeah, unstructured.
so now they are using that to send information from point A to point B. Somebody said Motorola, yeah. So they are using that to send information from point A to point B. So how it works is, say you want to access a website, you push a pound some number, and then it will give you the information about that place. So say you want to check for something, you just push pound and the number, or whatever, and it gives you that. That's what that is. But what there's a problem I see with that. The problem I see with that is everybody's going smartphone, and if everybody goes smartphone, what will happen to USSD or a business model that's based on USSD? I know it's all about the history, telling the story to fit the narrative and all that kind of stuff. But what happens to that if majority of the people are no longer using feature phones as they are called in Nigeria? So what happens to them? This is a question to you.
Okay, basically, that majority is going to take a lot of time to get to, because, for example, right now in Sokoto, to be precise, is a northern state in Nigeria. According to a recent research, it showed that up to 40% of students that goes to school in Sokoto during the lockdown, schools were asked to move online due to the fact that most of these guys, their parents don't even own a smartphone. They don't even have internet connections in their village. They don't even have access to electricity. But they always have that small phone that they used to contact their brother in the city. And a large number of people like that are living in Sudan, Congo, Burundi, and so many parts of Africa. Lifting those people and handing over smartphones to them doesn't really solve the problem. Because according to a statistics released by MTN Nigeria, the average, as of 2019, the average Nigerian spent 50 MB per month on data. Not all smartphone users have the money to buy data. And different case being different, my grandma have a smartphone. I can't remember the last time I tested her on WhatsApp and she replied me. And there is this habit of, in the African telecommunication services, USSD is a large part of it. Is already plugged in. So USSD as a technology is evolving also, trying to meet the needs, because it's all about solving the problems. You understand? So moving forward, at One Switch, definitely we have plans. We have open banking plans. We have our API banking plans. We're not going to do USSD forever. But one thing people always want to know is USSD is part of African financial is the thing that have even moved the fintech boom faster in
Actually,
Africa.
currently, the USSD is the engine, or maybe the catalyst in the African fintech. Pretty much, that's what you are saying. It's actually the
Yeah,
catalyst. It catalyzes it because a lot of poor people are using the phones that are readily equipped with USSD, which is unstructured supplementary data,
yeah,
unstructured supplementary data. So that's what it is.
yeah,
So it's one of those phones like for those of you in the US back in 91, 92, 94, whatever, the flip phone, the Nokia, and all those phones that has that little orange colored or greenish orange thing. So in those phones, you don't have the generations, the second generation and third generation capability in communication. So you have those little things when you push the button and go. Dun, 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 dun. So they are using those buttons and tones to send messages and receive messages. This is not a joke. You can send and receive messages and make payments by using specific numbers to bring up. So those numbers represent what you need to do, the actions. Okay, it's called AT commands. So that's what it's using. So I think now I understand fully well what he's talking about. There's a lot of poor people who cannot get the data on the phone. So from what he said, though the mobile devices is like climbing really high in Africa, there's a possibility that the smartphones are not in a larger population than the USSD
even if they are in a
devices.
larger population, internet data is cost, like buying of data online
Okay,
is
buying the data
high.
is not like in
And
the US or UK
no, no, no,
where
no,
it
it's
comes
high.
with the
And
package. You
also,
have to buy it.
yeah, and also the USSD works on smartphones as well.
And
Nigerian,
USSD works on smartphone as well. If somebody
yeah,
wants to downgrade and start pushing all those codes, if they want to push those
it works.
numbers,
It works.
yeah, it does work.
Is built. It's like in Africa here. Is how am I going to say it? It's like it's not something that private is part of telecoms. The telecom guys is part of their service. They use it very well. Recharging your phones, USSD, buying of data, USSD. So many, even calling the customer care at times, use USSD. Even banks in Nigeria, every major bank
So
in
those
Africa.
things are in the back end, pretty much. That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
They're in the back end. I understand where you're going with that. So they're
yeah.
all
So
built in. It's like you have a Windows operating system and you have DOS
definitely,
in it. It's okay. I
yeah,
have a Windows operating Windows 10, but I have DOS lying dormant in
yeah,
there, which I can use to do process and command and tell the computer what to do. That's what USSD is like. It's like serial communication, guys. Serial
yeah,
communication. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense. So we have an overview of the African market and how things could be done there, especially the information we're getting from you about the USSD and the point of sales and all that kind of stuff. So the next question I have for you here is what is the deal here with companies like Flutterwave? Flutterwave comes with a product called Rave, and Rave is a payment gateway. And currently, what we are seeing in the continent is some of these payment gateways they take fees internally and externally. However, externally we have companies like Remitly, we have Sendwave, you have TransferGo. These people they don't charge you any fees. How how are these other companies? I know Paystack is local, and I know Flutterwave is trying to go global or trying to do something to appear global. But now we have a bunch of competitions out there. TransferGo, they just make money from the foreign exchange. You have the other one, Sendwave, they make money from foreign exchange. You have the other one, Remit, that's owned by a Somalian guy. They also make money from you know foreign exchange. So what is going to happen to these other companies now, based on your research work on what you've done? If you haven't done any research on this is time for you to take it and run with it and come back to us. But if you have
no,
done any research on this,
basically,
now you go and give us a general
okay.
statement.
Okay, well, for me, I think companies evolve, companies die, like the way empire falls and empire rises. Paystack, Flutterwave, most of these guys are tech advanced in Nigeria. Most of these guys are really shaping the way payments are being made in here in Nigeria. Because before, if you want to make a payment, you have to use something like PayPal or something like that, and it's so fuzzy. Flutterwave, WorldRemit, SendWave, they are different, like they are entirely a different businesses altogether.
All right, talk
Yeah,
about it.
yeah,
Let's hear.
yeah. Their business model is different. Their customer focus is different. Flutterwave have a pay product called Rave Pay and Barter. Barter is a peer-to-peer payment network where you put your card, you can pay for anything you want to pay online, recharge your DX, recharge your cable TV, and buy data online and do other things you want to do. Send money to friends and family. That one, they don't charge you for it. But RavePay, all these payment gateway, like Alipay and the rest of them, example, like just like Alipay, is basically for businesses. And people that use most of these payments is people that want to accept, collect payments on their website. Imagine, I think Amazon have something like that.
Or
So
on their
you want to make
apps, or on their mobile
yeah,
apps.
yeah, you want to collect payments on your mobile app on your website. You integrate their payment API to be able to allow you to charge cards, and you get paid for your services. Like for me,
Correct.
example, I'm using Flutterwave to collect money. I'm using Flutterwave to charge my customers. I just send them the payment link, they input their card details. Why? I'm a business. I'm not an individual. So the person dealing with me will want to see a business account, want to see the legitimacy of what you are doing, want to see that, oh, she's a real guy, he has a Flutterwave account. So that's like a verification for you. But in terms of companies like Sendwave and the rest of them killing these guys, is far off it. These guys are never their competitions. They don't even compete in the same market. They compete entirely differently. Flutterwave, Sendwave, they can partner because these guys, Flutterwave is not doing remittance. They are not focused on doing international remittance. These guys
No,
are
they're not.
international. Yeah, these guys are international remittance companies. They are interested in moving the money from abroad back home and moving the money here over there. But Flutterwave, all of them are interested in you using your website to collect money wherever you are, anywhere in the world.
That
Paystack,
makes a lot
same
of
story.
sense now.
Yeah, Paystack, same story.
So Paystack, same story, but Flutterwave came before Paystack. Paystack is getting grounds
No, no, no,
in
no,
the
no.
continent.
Paystack came before Flutterwave.
Really?
Don't be surprised.
But it seems
Yeah.
like Flutterwave made a wave before Paystack was even able to do anything, because I knew Unala had to go to from he had to travel from Canada to California about 8 years ago to start off for their thing in Y Combinator, and Paystack was nowhere at that time. Where was
Yeah,
Paystack?
Paystack is the first African company to go to YC.
Paystack? I did not know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, the first African company to go
Really?
to YC. Yeah.
But they were maybe they didn't catch on for some time.
No,
For
no,
a
no.
while they were laying dormant.
There's this thing called the founder personality. For me, I would think Paystack is one of my favorite startups in Nigeria. Do I use Flutterwave a lot? Like I like Flutterwave like mad. Those guys are wow, they're
Okay.
doing serious job. But you want to give the credits to who is due to. Paystack is the guy that started this payment thing in Nigeria. Like real payment, like the people payment, not the interswitch payment, like the real people payment, like this fintech. Paystack was the guy that AOU, many of the guys were there, but Paystack was the guy that started with recurring billing. They changed the whole system, they changed the whole game, like they changed the whole thing. Like they are Amazon when they come to e-commerce. It means that it might never mean that Amazon was the first e-commerce company in the US. Yeah, there have been many,
That's
but
true. There have
Paystack,
been many that failed.
yeah, they changed the whole thing. They didn't fail. They are still making money. They have over 50,000 businesses. They have customers all around Nigeria and the world. Wow, they are growing. But product vision is different in different companies. Flutterwave is going international, verified because of the founder. Maybe I don't know, but the guy is a personality. You barely hear Shola Akinlade is my role model. I would say talk or even on Twitter. He doesn't even tweet. So he's just a guy building his company quietly. He doesn't want noise. Just doing his thing,
But
making
Paystack
impact.
Paystack don't make noise at all. I think I
They
like that
don't.
about them. They don't make any
Right.
noise. You don't
No,
hear
you don't
nothing
need to make
about
it.
them.
No,
Yeah,
but they
that's
are
really
really
good.
making impact. The
But
both
they're
of them are
making
making impact.
Yeah, I have a friend of
Seriously.
mine. A friend of mine, he owns Soft Talk. It's a messaging app. He's a friend of mine. We talk just like I'm talking to you on a regular basis. I think he uses Paystack for the Nigerian clients or customers that are in Nigeria. He uses Paystack, and I heard that Paystack is out there too, in I think Kenya or somewhere in the west, other places like
Paystack is
Ghana.
in Kenya. Paystack is I think they've launched to Egypt. They are in Ghana. Paystack is global, definitely. For me, I would say they are global.
Yeah, for somebody just confirm what you said. They said Paystack was there. They changed the game. They were the ones that changed the game and stuff like that. So that was really, really encouraging to know that that's so true. Yeah, I learned something new today. So moving forward to what we're doing here, I can see that you've done a lot of work. You have the background information of tech companies. We want to be doing more of this so that a lot of people that are following the channel will see what is happening in Africa, and that will be an encouragement because each one, teach one is here to bridge the gap between the mentor and the mentees from here and the continent, and encouraging the youths of Africa what they need to do to learn to the emotional support is there that we can give to them, confidence we can build in them, teaching them, creating that great awareness so they can recognize the fact that they need to be a part of production, not a part of consuming. So if you build stuff and you produce, you have a possibility of being gainfully employed. That's what each one teach one is here to do for every one of you guys. Okay, so
Yeah.
moving forward, the information we're getting from you is really good, and a lot of us are loving it here. And we hope that we can continue doing the same thing. We've run for a little bit, so let's go for another 4 minutes or so and wrap this thing up real quick. Is there anything you want to tell us, in a closing here about the way moving forward for especially the youths? What are the opportunities for them as we rewrite the story, as we try to make the history look as good as we want it to look? So what are we doing here? What can we do, to help our situation, especially with the COVID-19 situation and the future of the youths and what we are going through as a group? You tell us now what you think.
Okay. Basically, I was going through the Soft Talk website. It's one of those things, makes a lot of sense to me. Nigerian messaging app, free calls and the rest of them. It's one of those things that we need to start doing because we've spent most of our time in Africa waiting for people to come and solve our problems for us. We have bulk of problems here. The CEO of Gumroad today on Twitter said more people should build more companies. It makes a lot of sense that that call should be sounded in Africa because, come to think of it, how many airlines in Africa running in Africa to be said sub-Saharan Africa is owned by an individual here in Nigeria? There are so many things here to be built. Electricity is a big problem. Data is a big problem. People don't have money to even buy data on their phone. But so many solutions needs to be built. The two powerhouse of technology anywhere in the world is the financial industry and the telecommunication industry. And it really needs to be saved. And come to think of it, COVID-19, everybody's saying work from home. It's very hard. I even have to go to work today. Why? Because if you stay in the house, you spend almost 2,000 naira every day buying fuel. Calculate it in within 60 days. That's a lot of money. So I think the youth needs to wake up and solve these problems ourselves. I'm doing it. Anybody can do it.
Awesome.
So that is what I need to
So the
say.
youths, you've heard it from him. He's a youth himself. He said we need to rise up, wake up, and solve these many problems. But some of us out here in the diaspora are doing the best that we can. Soft Talk is a friend of mine that I talked to. He was an inspiration. So from what he's done, I'm not gonna do what he's done, but we've done something completely different. It's called Lockdown Cash, and what it does, it will enable you to secure your SMS. It will enable you to make call and have a conference meeting or whatever. You also have an e-wallet in there. You do crowdfunding with it. You can also put your files in external storage like the cloud. So these is one app, is one installation, but you have all these inbuilt features which reduces the attack surface to just one instead of having many applications on your phone, which exposes the phone to many various attack surfaces. Not only that, we have a world-class encryption. Actually, I don't know of any mobile device that have the kind of encryption that we have on that app. Is 2048 bits of encryption. Yeah, you might be thinking it's RSA. It's not RSA. It's something completely different. So if you want to know more about it, you go to our website to get all the information you need on it. And we're encouraging our youths to start getting involved in development and building things. We have this libraries that we are willing to give to the developers if they want it. Okay, we can share with them and support them and show them how to implement them in various things and areas. So this is exactly what we are talking about. So the app that we have is already been launched, is out there. You can get it from our website. We encourage people to download it and try it out, because if you don't use it, you're not gonna know what it's like, and you're not gonna be able to help us or assist us to do it better, to make it better, because everything you see out there, Rome wasn't built in one day. When the Japanese people were building their Toyota cars, the first one they made, they weren't able to do many things. I remember the first one was they can only go forward, they can't reverse. So it's over time that you increase and make it much better. So this is why we have this channel here, to interact with people like Dennis, so we can create that pipeline that's necessary for transfer of knowledge and information. So this is just about it, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Dennis, do you have anything to say before we wrap this thing up real quick?
What I need to say is, I think we should do more of the problems ourselves. That's what I need to say. And thank you for this section. It makes a lot of sense to me. I'm a very open person, and I think I have a lot to contribute to what is
All
happening,
right.
what you guys are doing. It makes a lot of sense what you guys are doing.
All
So
right.
you guys stay safe. Wash hands, wash legs, cover your noses and,
What's
and
that?
faces.
What's that? Come here, don't stay safe. I like that. That's so nice. Oh, that's not a cliche. That's really cool, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's very good
Yeah,
what you just said. So I don't know how busy you are. Maybe one of these days you can host us. You can have us, present what we do, showcase our product, and you have an influence with developers in the continent, and you have a long reach to some of these technology builders in the continent. So we want to be able to showcase what we have, and see who is out there, who's listening, that want the kind of technology that we have, especially in security and making people's information confidential and private.
makes sense. No problem. We jump down to that.
All
I'll
right,
message you on LinkedIn
we do it
or
offline. We talk about that offline, okay? So once we go offline right now, just hold on now. I had to discuss a couple of issues with you anyway. So guys, you see, we've done it. I'm glad that you guys were here with us, and we've gone through all this process, and it's amazing today. So this is Josiah, and each one teach one is about to be signed off. And if you're a new subscriber, go ahead and subscribe, and go ahead and click the like button to get the likes up. We need that. If you already subscribed, get the like button up. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. If you want the notification as we deliver them on a timely basis, click the notification button and you'll get that. And that's just about it. This is Josiah again on Each One Teach One. You have a nice day. I'm signing off now. Take care, guys.